Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Baranski. This is my channel for educational technology, and in this video, I'm going to be looking at Brightspace Content and the option for date management and display. Basically, what this allows you to do as an educator is set a start date and or end date for the content resources in the content area of Brightspace, so you can control when they go live for your students, optionally when they disappear, and you can even add a due date to it, which might not be the same as a due date for an assignment, but a way to let your learners know when they should be working on something in the resources of your class. It's important to note that this works for modules in content, so the unit folder, lessons, or a subfolder, and what they call folder or the sub-subfolder. It works on HTML documents, course files and upload files, web links, and LTI links. So, with that said, let's have a look. Alright, so here I am in a class now. If I click over to the content area up in the top left, it's going to pop me over to my content area here, so I can see I can add a new unit. I'm going to go in here and click on Create New, and then use an HTML document. Personally, this is one of the best areas to create content in Brightspace. And if this was just turned on in your organization, you'll see an option here to leave it on. So it's saying, hey, welcome to the new create or edit experience. It gives you a quick description of what it is, and you can turn to leave it on or turn it off. This is something D2L does when they're launching new features. They kind of give their users an option for whether you want to go to the new version or stay on the old one. You can always toggle back and forth as long as your organization has it set to toggle on or off. So I'm going to click leave it on here. To flip back, up in the top right, you can click that little down arrow and turn it off or leave it on. So you can always toggle back and forth that way. So this is the new viewing experience here. I'm just going to throw in a quick title for this page. Okay, and then I'll see options here. So you see I get an option for a due date. Generally, depending on what you're looking for, K-12, I would not recommend using a due date for your content resources, but maybe in secondary e-learning, this might be an example where you kind of set a pace for your students and let them know what they can be working on and following along. But off to the right, you'll see this option now for availability dates. If I click to expand it out, I can see I can set a start date and an end date. These again are optional. The way these three work, for the start date, that's when it will become visible to students. So if I click here, currently I'm on the 12th, I might set this for Monday morning and right at, let's say, 8 a.m. So that's when it will go live and become visible to students. You can optionally set an end date. Again, personally, I don't think it makes sense most times to be removing access to resources for students, but it is there as an option. This again won't delete it from your course, but will remove it from a view for your students so they can't see it anymore past the end date. And then again, you can set that due date here. Again, the due date I don't think makes sense for a lot of times for the course, but it can be a way that you can just kind of let students know about a certain pace they should be following. Now, you might be wondering on this view, this is taking up a lot of screen real estate here. This isn't a big box for me to edit with my content. Really importantly, you can expand this full screen. And what I really like about this new view, it actually removes the nav bar. And if I click to full screen here, I've got all the screen real estate for editing and focusing on my content. I can always just go back and click on those four arrows pointing out in the top right to go back to my regular view here. I've got a very rich and detailed toolbar to use to edit my content. And also very importantly, I'll highlight, you've got right here the option to select templates if your organization offer those for you. If I click it, I'll see an option for here that I can use to build out learning materials and use a template for my content. This is an example of my organization. Just click learning activity here, expand this full screen again, and now I've got a really rich, nice, kind of clean template to use to build out these resources. Okay, so again, this would just be a text editor here. I could use the toolbar across the top any way I like. I can click that expand arrow. I can still control the visibility. Now, using the start date kind of removes that need to set visibility. So I might just make this visible, knowing it's not going to be visible to my students until the start date I've set. So I've got a title here. I use the template. I've edited my content. I've got the start date. I'm going to click Save and Close. Now, it will pop me back over here to my demo unit. I threw this in here, so I've got access to it, and I can see it says to me here as the educator, starts February 14th. So really nice to see that. I can see when it's going live. If I click over my profile here to view as a student now, and go back to the content area in this class, click on that demo unit, you'll see I don't see it there. So it's not an option for me as a student because it hasn't hit that start date yet. Click and end my view as student mode, head back over to the content area, and now I'll see it via the demo unit. There it is, and it's letting me know as the educator it's starting the 14th. If I wanted to know what time I set it for, or I want to change the start date or end date or due date, I can just click on the page, click on the three dots up in the top right to edit, and then I see options here for what I want to do with it. I'm going to click on edit, and it brings me back to the editor where I could adjust those dates if I wanted. I'm going to cancel this out. I mentioned at the start of this video where it's an option for, so you can do this right on the parent folder or unit. I'm going to select it, click those three dots, and then edit. And you'll see here I've got availability dates for that entire folder. You can do this for subfolders as well. I do want to highlight, so it works for most things within Brightspace Content, but not all things yet. I think they'll be updating this over time. But I can see here if I click on, say, this Google Doc file, this Google slide I embedded here, it's embedded in this page so I can review and see the slide deck right here. I put this right in for my Google Drive, which is great. If I click the three dots up here to go and edit this page, I'm just editing the title because it's an embedded Google Doc here, so I can't edit that. Okay, so files you upload like a PDF, you can set it for the parent folders, HTML documents, which is what I would be doing. You can even embed with the Google File Embed option, a Google Doc or slide deck in an HTML page. That might be a way around it for right now. Or things via an LTI. So another example here would actually be Google assignments. You can control that. So right here with the three dots, I would click edit. And you'll see here I can actually set that availability date for Google assignments in this example because it's an LTI, and that would work for other LTIs as well. So you can just see here some really good examples there of how you can use this and live. And a reminder again, there's a couple of views for content now. So this here right in the content page itself is for the newer content experience. That's what I'm on here for this view. On the older view, this might have been a reason some people didn't flip over because they were waiting for this feature. It's here now. I would recommend you flip over to this new lessons experience. But again, that would just be for these colorful folders off to the left. If I want to edit or flip over to the experiences for the editor, I need to go in to edit something, and then I'll see a separate drop down here for the new create or edit experience. All right. I hope you found this video helpful as we looked at Brightspace Content in the lessons experience and how to set date management and display options via dates. If you did find it helpful, you can help me out by giving me a quick like on this video, just that little thumbs up there. And if you'd like to stay on top of videos as they're coming out for me in the future, you can click the subscribe option there to get updates as they're coming, and the little notification bell to let you know when they're coming out. Thanks, and all the best.